Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, and one day I'm going to be your favorite Palworld YouTuber. Now, in the last episode of my newbie guide, what we did was we constructed our base, automated the wood and stone production as well as the wool production, alright? And last but not least, what we did, now if you missed this, don't worry, the link is in the description of this video, we also got ourselves a mount, which is the Dire Howl. This is going to make it a lot easier for us to get our stuff done. But what's next on the list? Well, first I'm going to remove my camera so that you guys don't get any of the content interrupted. And then I'm going to explain to you what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. All right, so let's get rid of the camera first. There we go. Now, the next step for our base is to build a primitive furnace as well as a hot spring. These are important items because what's going to happen is that we're going to need to eventually build some ingots so that we can start producing more advanced weapons, more advanced armor, all that kind of stuff. All right. The next goal in my mind right now is actually at this point in time, assuming that you've already hit level 12, which you should have if you've been following my guide, you'll be able to unlock a metal spear, crossbow, all this kind of stuff. But the most important thing is a cooler box and pelt armor. You really want to advance up your armor because that's going to be important. You also don't have a feathered headdress yet, so we're going to start constructing that. Now, in order for ourselves to be more efficient, we are going to need the next level of workbench because all you can make of this basic one is the feathered headband. You should make one because this will slightly boost your defense, so we're going to do that. In fact, oops, sorry, I've got a stat point. Almost forgot about that. Now, in order to make this all go a lot faster, we're just going to put that into weight so we can carry more. And we're going to construct the feathered headband. There you go. Okay, now it's already on your character. And apparently being raided by a herd of man-eating wild pets. Okay, that's alright. Summon your Dire Howl. Now, if you get a chance with these pets that are raiding you, right? What I personally like to do, well, aside from killing them, is if I can, I'll try and capture some of them. But usually the pals that you have at base are usually so strong that they all kind of get wiped out. So if you can, try and catch them, but because all your pals are going to be fighting them at the same time, yeah, they're not going to last very long. Alright, let's go repair our cloth armor. And let's actually go see. First, remember last time I told you that we have a lamb ball here? Alright, it's going to produce wool for us. So we're going to collect up that wool, and then we're going to spin it all real quick. So let's get a Kativa going. Alright, this Kativa is going to help us. We're going to make all of this wool into cloth. Alright, so I'm going to do a camera cut here, and then I will come back when the cloth is done. Okay, all of the cloth is done, so I'm just going to put all of that away. Alright, first chest is always resources. The second chest is actually monster materials and all that. So we're going to put all that away so that it's not in our way or it's not going to interrupt us. We'll feed our pets to make sure that they're all in tip-top condition. Now, we need a high-quality workbench, but that's actually going to take ingots and nails, which we do not have. So in order to actually upgrade our equipment, we're going to need to build a primitive furnace, like I mentioned before, which we can build thanks to the fact that we've got flame organs. And we're also going to have to build a hot spring. The hot spring will help our pets retain sanity. Now, in order to build the hot spring, you're going to need pal fluids, palladium fragments, stone, and wood. All right? What we're going to do is we're going to actually crush some stone into palladium fragments. This is so that we don't have to constantly mine it, and the stone is already being produced at the quarry. So I'm going to set this up. Now, a pet that has watering can water the crusher. Your Pengullet, once it's done harvesting all these berries and all that, will actually settle it quite well. So, although I've made 2 berry plantations here, right, what we're actually going to do is we're going to delete 1 because it is unnecessary. Alright, you only need 1 berry plantation to sustain your whole base for now. Especially in a solo world, you definitely do not need more than that. So we're going to put the berries there. Alright, 1 berry plantation is enough to sustain your entire operation. Next, we're going to put away the stone and the wood here. The berry seeds, we can just leave them somewhere. Okay, they're not important. But what is important right now is getting these palladium fragments done over here and building the hot spring. The hot spring is exceptionally important. So, where do you get pal fluids? Pal fluids are found from any water-type pal. So, oops, sorry, ran off with my dire wolf a bit too fast. We've only got 6 pal spheres, so what we're actually going to do is we're going to construct some more pal spheres first, which I'm going to do over here. Yes, pretend that I didn't just literally try and run off for no reason. we're gonna go here and we're gonna construct 10 Pal Spheres. Okay, so we're just gonna quickly do that. I'll summon my Kativa to assist me. There you go. And this is gonna go by real fast. Hello, Mamorest. This is my base. Welcome to my base. Don't bother me, okay? You know. Oh, this Mamorest is in my way. Look at this Mamorest. He's beautiful. He's gonna like wander around my base. Thankfully, the Mamorest is so peaceful. They don't actually come and rip you. But anyway, what we'll do first is we'll summon the Direwolf. And what we're gonna try and do is we're gonna get Pal Fluids. Now I'm gonna show you where they're found. All right, you can. And along the way, we're just gonna murder some chickens. Why? Food is good. All right, food is good. Never underestimate the value of food. And also, we're gonna murder fox sparks, or capture them rather, because capturing is worth more. Now, in terms of your Pal deck, right, you can see how many you've captured of each Pal. If you haven't finished your Pal deck, it is much wiser to capture them, especially with the low-level spheres, because you'll be able to get more eventually anyway. Okay, unfortunately, that one was deleted. I'm gonna be very careful here. Oh dear. I was not careful. But anyway, I will be taking their flame organs. My apologies, I should have captured those. Chickpeas. I haven't finished capturing these guys, so. Whenever you're out doing all this kind of stuff, it is very, very wise to capture. Alright, hunt, capture, gather, do all the good stuff. Go. You want to make sure to cap all these. All right. Oh dear, came out of the Pal screen. Nope. Get back in there, pal. You can actually use the Fox Spark as a flamethrower with its ability. It's quite funny, but you won't actually need that. And it's only really valid for the lower levels of gameplay. And to be fair, like I said, you really won't need that in future. So it's okay. Oh, it didn't die. Great. I was waiting for that. Let's capture another. Okay, all of it is XP, and it's all good. Okay, you also want to look for the Pengullets. Now, these crevices here, you can cap them along the way. My Fierce Fang was a bit off, but that's alright. Grab the crevices. If you can. I want to look for Pengullets. Now, normally the Pengullets should all be hanging around here, but it seems that on the way, we haven't really found any of the water Pokemon. Pals. I really shouldn't say Pokemon, because then Palworld's going to get even more sued. Oh, I can actually, like, swing my pickaxe on Dire Howl's back. Nice. I mean, my mining swings were all missing, but still. It is interesting to note that you can do that. Okay. Now, there's a Nightwing up there, but we're not going to capture him just yet. We will in future, of course. We're going to get dozens of Nightwings so that if we can find a fast-flying Nightwing, such as one with Runner or Swift, alright, it'll help us as one of our easiest early-game flyers to obtain. Alright, we are here with the Pengullets. Now, try and restore your stamina. Your wolf is fast anyway, but you don't want to be running out of stamina and doing this. Okay, Pengullet's dead, but it gets the Pal Fluid and the water organs. That's fine. Oh, I'll just wait until I can do another sand attack. Avoid their icicle attacks because those will get you. Alright, but this level 6 Pengullet is coming with us. There we go. This level 3 Pengullet, on the other hand, is very aggressive. Oh, it's done for. Shame. But yeah, capturing the Pengullets or murdering them will get you plenty of Pal Fluids. So you're going to need to murder or capture about 10 of them. Alright? There's plenty here to go around, so don't worry about that. Oh dear. I'll just wait till my sand attack regenerates. Oh my gosh, these guys. You know what? I think I'm going to have to hunt them down the slow and easy way because these guys are dying way too quickly. Alright, and we also leveled up, so we're gonna go to our unused stat points, and we're gonna go for work speed again. Speed is of the essence, especially in a solo world. Like I said, there's not a lot of danger here, but ultimately, you want to be fast at whatever you're doing. Okay, now with this Alpaca, it's best to just keep hitting it. So, I'll actually wait. Because sand attack is so slow that it really doesn't, you know, gel well with trying to kill things fast. Alright, great. We've done all that. Now, the Alpacas can also be used as a mount, but they're fairly slow in my opinion, so I don't tend to use them too often. Now, it's already nighttime, so we've been hunting around for the PAL fluids. Now, I already have some at base, so I'm not going to go hunt around for 10 in order to not waste your time. But what I am going to do is I'm going to mine all these Pallium fragments, and then I'll cut the video, and we'll head back to base, and we'll grab the hot spring. Okay, it is now nighttime, and we return to the base. Now, I've actually gotten about 33 Pallium fragments, and I've got about 7 Pal fluids. So I did all that off camera so that I wouldn't bother you guys too much with that. We're going to put all of our stuff away. Okay, all the animal materials, all the good stuff, all the goodies that we got along the way. Yeah. And, of course, we're going to make sure to feed ourselves. But what you guys should do is that whenever you go out and grab all this good stuff, make sure y'all cook up your food, okay? Now, your food will cook slowly even if you leave it on the campfire, but one way to get this thing done faster is to make sure one of the Fox Sparks is in your party. So if your Fox Spark has any kind of like, for example, this thing has increased work speed, right? We're going to actually put him in the party. We're going to swap him over for the T. Now, the T-Fan is awesome. It is lucky and, you know, has all that. But Fox Spark is good at cooking. So, if you're going to cook food, then having a Fox Spark with Artisan, which improves its work speed, is just going to make this so fast. So even though its kindling level is not that high, it can cook really well. Alright, so make sure you do all this, and let your little pet help you out. So we're going to go cook up all the food, and then the next section is I'm going to show you what we do next with the hot springs and all that. Okay, we've just finished cooking up all the food. Now what we're going to do is we are going to, number one, we are going to go make a hot spring. Now, if we want to make a hot spring, one of the things we can do is we can bring along a pet that, now, we've already got Motivational Leader from the Chickpea, and we've got Artisan from the Fox Spark, but we don't really need that when it comes to building a building, right? So we're going to look for anyone that has a Motivational Leader, all right, because that's going to be really helpful. Unfortunately, I don't think we have any. We got some more Artisan. Actually, you know what? Since this one has Artisan, we will swap him out into the base. Those with Artisan are really, really good for doing work at the base. But no, it seems that we don't have any other motivational leaders. You can have multiple pets with the same benefit, such as motivational leader or whatever, and eventually you will collect a whole bunch, like I said. But if we eventually have enough of them with motivational leader, we will actually be able to stack all these bonuses, therefore making things go by really, really fast. All right. Okay, since we don't have any others with motivational leader, that's totally okay. What we're going to do is we're going to grab this here Rabunny. Now, Rabunny can help you out with whatever handiwork you have to do, so don't worry too much about that. We're going to replace the Fox Spark right there. And we're actually going to swap one of our land balls for a Vixy. The Vixy doesn't actually do anything important at the base, but what they're going to do is produce Pal spheres over there. All right, we've already got one land ball producing wool. Eventually, our wool production is not going to be that serious, so we don't need to always have a lot of land balls producing. Okay, now the next step, like I said, is to build a hot spring, so we're going to go and do that. Now, unfortunately, like I said, we got no other motivational leaders, but that's all right. We have a Rabunny to help us out. So we're going to build the pets a hot spring right here so that they can enjoy a soak. And if you look at the Tombat, it says upset and not willing to do any tasks, all right, because it's hungry and whatnot. Let it eat its food so that once it gets food inside it, it'll be a lot happier. And then what you're going to do is you're going to want to throw them into these things when they're upset, all right, because if they have a good soak, they'll be happier. So can I go after the Tombat and lift it up? I should be able to. So you can always grab and lift a pal, right? And if it feels like it's upset or its sanity is dropping, you can soak it in there. Now, there is a bit of a bug, so you'll actually see it being happy, soaking outside of the thing, but, well, that's how it works, all right? Okay, great. Now, I'm just going to check on the stone and wood, the logging area. Because, look, if you let it build up, right, what's going to happen is that sometimes if there aren't enough pets that do transportation, you're actually going to have a situation whereby the wood all gets clogged up in there. So we're just going to deposit all the wood in here. And there you go. Eventually, we'll have more pets that do transportation, but you might actually have to empty this once in a while, so just be aware of that. Okay, I try to check and empty this stuff every so often. And if you've got too many stone fragments, you want palladium fragments, you can actually set it up here. Alright, at the water wheel. So I like to always have a good 20 in the early stages of the game going at any one point in time. If you ever need more palladium fragments, you can mine it yourself, all that kind of jazz. But now we have our hot spring, we're going to need our primitive furnace. The primitive furnace is extremely important because the primitive furnace is what's going to produce our next set of ore, ingots, all that kind of stuff. So where do you want to really have it? In general, for my primitive furnace, I will put it usually somewhere out of the way, but where the fire pets can get to it easily. So I try to choose a location close enough to the campsite or the cooking fire. So here is a good location. All right, and if you want to build it faster, make sure your bunny is helping you out. All right. Now, if you don't have a bunny, you can use a Cativa. Any of those can help you out as well, so don't worry too much about that. Now the primitive furnace is done, but in order to produce ingots, you're going to need ore. Now, the first few ingots you would have got, the first few bits of ore you would have gotten from mining stone. However, I'm going to show you the actual location of the ore mine. So we're going to set these up, and your fox spark. All right, we are going to first upgrade the. Ooh, sorry, we need to build a second berry plantation, don't we? My apologies. I knew we didn't need a second one earlier on, but we actually do need to build one, just for the advancement of the levels. So I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay, me and Bunny will quickly build it, and we'll delete it again later. For now, we can just leave it. It's fine, but we don't actually need a second one, so we'll delete it again later. Okay, now we can upgrade the base. Oof, my apologies. Okay, as you can see, there's more than enough food even for all these pals. So at the base, you want to have a fox spark. Now, earlier we had one with artisan. Okay, we're going to put him to work in the base. Why? Because he's going to be able to do the kindling a lot faster. Take a look. The fox spark will come over here, and it'll start cooking up the ingots. All right? Thanks to the fact that he's got artisan, he's going to do it even faster. Now, we're going to have to make him a bed as well, so let's do that. Let's make sure our pals all have lovely locations to sleep. Here, everybody. Let's go fast. All right, lovely. And you know what? In advance of the next pal that we're going to work on, we're going to get yet another bed going. Okay? That's good. Okay, everything is looking set right now. For the next base upgrade, we're going to need a high-quality workbench and a medieval medicine workbench. Both of these are going to require nails. So if you look at production, you're going to need to make some nails. All right? The medicine workbench, do I have it unlocked yet? No, I don't. So if you don't have your medical workbench unlocked, now you will notice that I'm ignoring the tundra and the tropical outfits. Please totally ignore these because they are a waste of your technology points. You can save your technology points for later. Grab your megasphere and a sphere workbench. I should have the medical bench unlocked, but I'm really not sure why I don't. Ah, medieval medicine workbench. There it is. It's under level 12. Okay, we have that. All of this is going to require nails. Okay, so how do you produce nails? Nails are produced... Okay, oops, sorry. That's my repair bench. Nails are produced from ingots, which your fox spark is working on. In the time that we've been talking, the fox spark actually finished the most basic ingots. So we're going to go deposit those away. But that's not really enough, is it? So if that's not enough, what we'll do is we'll set up... Now, if you have a Cativa or other pets that can do handiwork at the base, which you should, we'll just set up these nails right here. Okay? And I'll just check on the base. Yeah, Cativa's got handiwork, and so do the land balls, so they'll take care of the nails while we're gone, all right? If they end up not being busy with other tasks. Anyway, what I'm going to show you first and foremost is that if you really want to mine ore, okay, you'll find some around the base, like here, all right? These are ore stones. You don't have to go all the way to the Desolate Church to get them, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to mine this lot first. Okay, I'll mine till I have enough. Actually, wait, this is my basic pickaxe, isn't it? We'll need some metal tools to really get all this done. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of mining here. As you can see, it takes quite a while to even shrink it down. And your pickaxe durability is going to go down because it's just a stone pickaxe. Ore is also relatively heavy, so if you get too much of it, you're going to have a bit of a problem. So, yeah. We'll mine it a little more. And then I'm going to take a moment while I cook up these ores right here. Okay, I've got enough, 22 now. I'm going to grab these as well along the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set these onto the furnace so that the pets will continue to work. Now, having a Vixy at base, I wanted to show you guys this earlier, but having a Vixy at base means that they'll dig up arrows, Pal spheres, all that, so you don't have to waste too much time making the basic Pal spheres. I have heard that they do dig up more advanced Pal spheres, but mine doesn't seem to do that, so it doesn't really matter. We'll set up the ingot production right here, and then palladium fragments that were never collected. Sorry, I got distracted there. Okay, now we're going to head back to the Pal box. And what we are going to do is we are going to fast travel. We're going to fast travel over to the area called Desolate Church. Now, I'm just going to show you guys this, all right? I'm going to show you guys this because this is going to be important for later on. You can actually turn this area into an ore base. And also, look, a Rushroar. Rushroars are extremely important. Why? Because they have a little trick with them. I'm going to show you that trick real soon. Okay. Okay, first we're going to have to capture it. But I'll put all of these little Rushroar tricks at the end of the video, alright? They're pretty funny, but I think you might enjoy them. Okay, we're going to summon the Dire Howl. If you look around behind the Desolate Church, you'll see that there is an entire field of ore right here, okay? So you want to have your second base somewhere around here so that you can mine plenty of ore in this location. And if you see some lovely Vixies, do not hesitate. Oh, dear, the Vixy died. Okay. Maybe I'll hesitate a little bit. Sorry, Vixy, you're coming back with me. If I find one with Artisan, I'll put it to work producing. Oh, this one's ferocious. I guess I could use it for combat. Okay, now, let's head back to base 1. And, oh, actually, you know what? We still got a little bit of... I like to use up all my durability. Oh, so sorry. Almost forgot to eat. Roast 8 for deer will set me straight. Yeah, I like to use up my durability and bring back the ore, you know? I mean, for the sake of efficiency, I never waste my time. Okay, weapons damage. Let's go back. Now, if the nails at base 1 are not finished yet, that's okay. We're going to finish them ourselves. And we're going to start creating the high-quality workbenches and all that. So, first, back to Palworld, base 1. Oh, the Pengullets working on it. Bless us, a little heart. We're going to need a Rushroar saddle, so I'm going to quickly construct that with the help of my Rebunny. We're going to construct 2 little things before I can show you the tricks. Alright? First, the Rushroar saddle, and then later on the Foxspark harness. The Foxspark harness is hilarious, but that one is more of a combat trick. So, if you really need to hunt something strong, you can use the Foxspark as a flamethrower, alright? So, if you haven't built a Foxspark harness, we can build one too. They take a bit of leather, but I've already taught you guys how to get leather in the mount guide, so you guys should know that already. Let the Pengullet keep working on the nails, poor little fella. He's working hard as our little artisan. Now we grab the harness here, we're going to repair our pickaxe, and if you get spare Pal fluids, what I like to do is set up 2 hot springs so that 2 pets can soak, but early on in the base you don't need to do that. Later on, just remember, you should have 2 hot springs going so 2 pals can soak. Okay, so we'll go put all this away. Monster materials go in the second chest. Sorry, I like being organized with all this kind of stuff. Okay, grand. We're all good. Everything is looking good. Okay, my materials and everything are all repaired. Oh, the bow isn't. That's okay. Do we even need to repair the old bow? Yeah, we probably should. Okay, Rabunny. First, we draw off that bench, and I'll assign you to this bench. And we're gonna finish up the nails. Now, I could make a crossbow for myself, but we're not actually gonna do that. In fact, the next upgrade for your hunting is the 3-shot bow. All right, if you don't have to go step by step with me, but early on, if you don't want to waste too much time making nails or worrying about ingot production when it's not automated yet, don't make the crossbow. You can just make a 3-shot bow. So first, we're gonna finish off the nails, which really won't take too long, and then I'm gonna make a 3-shot bow right here. Okay, I could do a video cut, but we're already at 8 out of 12, so I'm just gonna let you guys, you know, chill with me for a few seconds. It's really not gonna take that long. We'll chill, we'll finish this, and we'll go make ourselves a 3-shot bow. Okay, there we go. So right now you're still using the old bow, but if you've already unlocked it in your technology tree, oh, my mouth. You can make a 3-shot bow for 50 wood, 12 stone, and 30 fibers. Okay, if you ever run out of fibers, you can also make them at the crusher. So if you got a bit too much wood and you want to make some fibers, you can do this the same right here. I usually like to make a little bit of fiber in between the palladiums when I don't need that. And your little Pengullet will go and water the crusher and make you the fibers, in addition to watering the fields as well. Poor Pengullet has to work very hard right now, unfortunately. But that's okay. Look, in that time that we've been talking, the 3-shot bow is done. So replace your old bow and you'll never need to see it again. You can just discard that. Some people like to keep their old stuff. I don't bother. Okay, your 3-shot bow is stronger. It's got an attack of 40. And now we're going to deposit the nails off. So we'll just, you know, this is monster materials. So we'll put the nails here. Okay. Now you can put them in any other chest if you feel a compelled reason to do so, but it's really up to you. I'm going to make a couple more Pal spheres. I currently only have 4. So we'll make another 11. And we'll get the Rabunny to do the work with me. This is just so that when we go out capturing again later, we don't have to worry too much about the Pal spheres. And like I said, in actuality, your Vixy will start producing those low-level ones for you. So beyond this early stage, you really don't have to bother with that. Okay, now we need to get ingot production up and running consistently. All right, we've got some more ingots, but we want more consistent ingot production. And before we can do that, we should focus on the high-quality workbench and all the rest. So let's get that done. Now, you're actually going to need 15 ingots for this. So the 11 that we just got, not enough. So what do? Mine ore. All right. Now, before I finish out this video, I'm going to create the high-quality workbench. So I'm going to do a little cut here. We're going to go mine that ore. We're going to get all the ingots done, and I'm going to show you the high-quality workbench. Okay, so ladies and gents, the next time I said I would have a video cut was when the high-quality workbench is ready to be built. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to show you guys the Rushroar Mining Trick. So if you guys don't really have metal pickaxes and all that, and you really want to mine ore at a relatively fast rate, what you can do is, what you're going to need is going to set up your party with... now, I've got this Cativa here just to help increase my carry weight. I have Mining Foreman, so it increases player mining efficiency. And I've got a Rushroar here. The Rushroar doesn't need any specific stats. Now, this is not quite as fast as using a metal pickaxe, but you can sort of use this trick in the early game, or even in the late game if you're lazy, or if you just want to have some hilarious fun while mining. If you go up to an iron ore node, right, and use a reckless charge right there, okay, and the Rushroar charges into it, you will mine about 9 ore per pop. Okay, so it can be a lot faster than your pickaxe in the early stages. And if you happen to hit 2 of these ore nodes, alright, you're going to have 22 ore just like that. Just be very careful of your weight limits, alright? Try to line up the charges so that they hit 2 at once. Okay, there you go. And if you cannot direct it, that's okay. Just be careful that you don't end up overweight, like so. So if you do, you're going to have to drop some. Alright. Then you head back. Basically, this little ore trick will help you gather a lot of ore really quickly. And if your Rushroar has something like Swift, you will be able to Swift or Runner. You'll be able to get back and forth to your base really, really fast. So I actually really like little tricks like this. So if you guys want to mine fast, you don't really have the equipment, this is one way to do it. Okay, ladies and gents, we are now ready for the finish. So what we're going to do is, first and foremost, we're going to build a high-quality workbench. Alright, so we're going to do exactly that. I got my Daydream to help me out here. My Daydream has Artisan. Okay, the high quality workbench is done. And the medieval medicine workbench you can actually put inside your hut if you want to, because honest to God, you will hardly ever use it. And that's just me being very, very honest with you. Okay, so there goes my daydream. We're gonna build it. Now at this point, right, you have a choice. You can either put your stat point into work speed or into weight. For me, I will usually go weight at this point because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mine a lot of ore. And this way, all my base productions are all set up and things like that. But if you're not into that, grab work speed. All right. Now with the high quality workbench, we can finally make our next level armor, which is pelt armor. And that's the last and most important thing we're going to do before our next session. So let's go make ourselves some pelt armor. Pelt armor is going to cost you about 10 leather to make. But once you have it, your defense is going to go up. Let's compare. All right. My pelt armor is ready. It has 35 defense and 140 health. This one only has 15 defense and 70 health. So now, your character will finally start to look a little bit cooler. You can discard your old cloth armor if you don't want it. Alright, and here we are. We are done. Alright, so now you have gotten your... Whoa, why is this here and why is it dead? Oh, it's just sleeping. Okay. The Mamorest just decides... Ladies and gents, the Mamorest just decides to take a rest in my bed. Lol. Alright, that's pretty funny. We will now upgrade our base to the next level. And what you're probably going to want is something that specializes in transportation. So usually I'll put in a Tansy if I own one. Okay, Zen Mind. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just put him in because he's got Zen Mind. You can also put in a Lift Monk. Both are about the same, but Lift Monks don't transport, Tansies do. And transportation is probably important because a lot of stuff is getting left at the quarry, at the other areas. So make sure that you get all that going, okay? So pick up all the Pal Spheres, clean out your ranch every once in a while. Like I said, your basic Pal Spheres, arrows, all this stuff is going to come from the ranch. You're going to be using arrows for a long time, so don't hesitate, okay? Grab all that good stuff, put the wool in with your chest. Now, if you ever need more cloth, you can just get that going. And ladies and gents, that brings us all the way up to base level 9. Okay, so previously we finished out at base level 8. Now we're at base level 9. But the most important thing is that we've learned how to create ore, and we've learned to upgrade our armor and get ourselves to the next stage. Now it's all about getting your base to level 10 so you can have a second base, and then we're going to need to automate our production of ores and all that kind of stuff. How do we do that? Well, I'm going to teach you what to hunt and how to get it in the next video. So look forward to that. The next video is going to be a lot of hunting and a lot of bringing down some pretty interesting creatures. All right? I'll see you guys in the next one in my solo world. Now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, okay? If you don't, I'll be super sad and I will cry. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you to the channel members that make all of this possible. Thank you to those that super chat and donate. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you next time.